folks, and welcome to today's practice, another one of our Ha and Ta practices. So a short, fairly vigorous warm-up just to get some heat in the body and get the mind focused, and then some nice long held slow postures, just a chance to soften into the practice and let go of the sense of needing to do all the time. Before we go on, yes, I am wearing my pajamas. It's one of the things a couple of people have mentioned that they've enjoyed about this lockdown period, that they've been able to practice with me from the comfort of their own home in their pajamas. So I thought I'd share with you and also practice in my pajamas for today. Good reminder for us not to take ourselves too seriously, right? So remember, as we go into our practice, just listen to your body as always. Remember, your breath is there to guide you. If your breath isn't smooth and calm through the nose, it means you're doing too much. So try and work, particularly in the latter half of this practice, with a sense of softness, of letting go and of relinquishing effort, and just letting the postures do the work for you. And of course, any questions, any comments, just pop them in the comments, and I'll be happy to help you out in any way I can. I'd love to hear from you, even if you just want to say hi. And of course, as always, these practices are offered to you free of charge, but if you would like to support me, there's a PayPal link in the description. No obligation, but if you'd like to donate, thank you very, very much. So let's get on with it. So coming into cross-legged with your left leg in front, just take a moment to feel the sit bones gently pressing down into your mat, and then start to bring your body forward just as much as feels comfortable for you. Keep the chin to the throat and try and lengthen out through the crown of the head. Keep the belly soft, the breath calm and quiet. And try to relax around the lower back and the back of the hips. Take one more breath here. And after breathing out, gently sit back up. Swap your legs the other way. And take another little forward stretch. The two sides may not be the same. Remember, one of the important things of your practice, or elements of your practice, is getting to know your body, being attentive enough to it to start to be aware of all its little nuances, all its imbalances. Take a last breath here. And after you exhale, gently bring the body up and make your way into a kneeling plank position. So knees just a little behind the hips. Make sure that the palms are gently pressing down flat. And start to take some circular cat stretches. And then pause and go back the other way. So you're just trying to circle. We could think of the lowest rib as the reference point. There's some lateral movement as well as flexion and extension in the spine. Make your way now back into a comfortable kneeling plank, and just flip the right hand over and give the back of your wrist a little bit of a stretch. Keep the weight on the left hand with the left elbow unlocked. And if you can, spread the fingers of the right hand and just press the back of the wrist slightly forward. After exhaling one more time, flip that hand back over and do the same on the other side. So the weight is now on the right hand, the left wrist just stretching. And again, try and reach out through the fingertips as you spread the fingers of the left hand and gently press the wrist forward. Exhale one more time here. And then come back into your comfortable kneeling plank. From there, pick your knees up about 10 centimetres. You can, of course, stay on the knees if you prefer an easier option.
And try to have a sense of the tailbone moving back as the crown moves forward. Take one more steady breath here. And after you exhale, lift the hips and make your way into downward facing dog. Check that your feet are level and hip width, and your hands are level and shoulder width. Try to keep space around the sides of the neck so the shoulders are rolling out. Give your head a little roll side to side to begin with, just relaxing through the back of the neck. And either stay where you are, or if you'd like, bring the right hand to the left calf or ankle and take a little twist as you turn and look under the left arm. Exhale one more time here. Gently pull with the right hand to deepen your twist. And then gently unravel and do the same on the other side. Of course, if you stayed in a symmetrical position, just staying in your comfortable down dog. Gently pull with the left hand to turn the body a little further. And try to keep lifting up through the hips but press down through the heels. Turn a little further for the last breath here. And then come back into a symmetrical down dog. Taking one more breath here. Lift up through the hips as you breathe in and press down through heels and hands as you breathe out. Then raise your heels, look forwards and breathe in, and step lightly to the front of your mat. Either place hands on the shins or let the body gently hang forward. If you're hanging forward, let the weight of the head and the arms traction the spine. And from either of those positions, you might like to gently walk out through the knees if that feels okay for you. You might like to give the body a little sway from side to side. Take one more breath here. And after exhaling, press the hips forward. Stand all the way up, stretch the backs of the wrists and reach high to the hands. And bring the hands to the heart and the feet gently together. Take a smooth breath in with hands to heart, lift up through the crown. And as you exhale, gently pull the shoulders down and press into the feet. Then reaching the arms up, take a smooth breath in and fold forward hands to shins or mat and exhale. Lift the collarbones, arch the spine as you breathe in, and with hands to the mat, make your way back into downward facing dog. Reach your right leg up and back, stretch through to the toes as you inhale, and step the right foot lightly forward into a lunge. Stand up in your lunge, reach to the fingertips and inhale, and sink down into the hips as you breathe out. Take another breath in, lengthen from the back foot to the hands, maybe look up. And then bring hands to the mat, step back to down dog and breathe out. Now taking the second side, reach the left leg up and back. With level hips, reach out through the toes. And then step the left foot silently forward into the lunge. Stand up in your lunge, reach high to the hands as you breathe in. Then try to sink into the hips without bending the back knee as you breathe out. Take another breath in, press out through the back heel, reach through the fingers and maybe look up. Then take hands to the mat, step back to down dog and exhale. Stay there and rest or move forward into plank. And lower with control to the knees if you're doing a cat stretch, or to the stomach and exhale. Lift the chest and hands, maybe the feet as you breathe in, or come to up dog. And then make your way smoothly back into down dog and breathe out. Take one more breath here. And try to gently press the armpits towards the feet. Then raise your heels, look forwards and breathe in. Bring the feet lightly to the hands, walk, step or float. Standing up, bring the backs of the hands together, reach high and breathe in. And second cycle, fold forward and gently breathe out. Lift your collarbones, arch the spine as you inhale. With hands to the mat, again make your way back into downward facing dog. Reach the right leg high, stretch out through the toes as you breathe in. Bend your knee and turn out to the right side as you exhale. Try and keep the left heel down. Then level your hips, reach through to the right foot and breathe in. And step the right foot lightly forward to a lunge and breathe out.
Stand in your lunge. Reach high to the hands as you inhale. Then bend the elbows, take the hands down behind the back and try and stretch the triceps as you breathe out. Then again, reach the arms up high. Lengthen from back foot into fingers as you breathe in. Bring the hands to the mat. Fold over the right leg and calmly breathe out. Now bend the right knee. Inhale. And without scraping the mat, pick up your right foot and step it back to down dog. Stay and rest or move forward into plank. Stay and rest or smoothly lower to knees or stomach. Lift the chest, hands and feet, or take up dog as you breathe in. And then make your way back into down dog and breathe out. Now take your left leg up and back. Reach through to the toes as you inhale. Then bend your left knee and turn out to the side as you breathe out. Try and keep right heel down. Level your hips. Once more, reach through to the left toes as you inhale. And step the left foot silently forward, remembering the last bit's the most important. Stand in your lunge. Reach high to the hands. And take the hands down behind the back. Stretch the triceps as you breathe out. Then lengthening from back foot to the fingers, maybe look up as you breathe in. Bring the hands to the mat and fold over the left leg as you breathe out. Then bend the left knee, gently inhale. And picking up your foot, step it silently back to down dog. Stay and rest or move forward into plank. Stay and rest or smoothly lower down. Lift chest, hands and feet, or take up dog as you inhale. And then press back and breathe out in downward facing dog. And again, just hang out here for a breath or two. Try to relax the back of the neck and press back through calves and heels. Then raise your heels, look forwards and breathe in. And bring the feet lightly to the hands and breathe out. Stand all the way up. Stretch the backs of the wrists. Reach through to the fingers and inhale. And third cycle, fold forward and gently breathe out. Again, lift the collarbones, pull the shoulders back as you breathe in. Take the hands to the mat and make your way back into downward facing dog. Stay and rest or move forward to plank as you inhale. And with control, lower to knees or stomach and gently breathe out. Remember, you can lower onto the stomach with the knees. Take your version of up dog, whatever that may be. And then make your way back into down dog and breathe out. Take your right leg high, stretch up through the toes. Then bending your right knee, turn to the side as you breathe out. Take another breath in, reach up through the back knee and press through the hands. And either stay there or lightly pivot on the left toes. Bring the right leg down as the right arm goes forward. Take another breath in here, wherever you may be. Try and press into left hand and reach or press to right. On your next in-breath, gently roll back over, reach through to the toes. And then step the right foot lightly forward to the lunge. Stand up in your lunge, reach high to the hands and breathe in. And again, take the hands down behind the back and stretch through shoulders and upper back as you breathe out. Reach high, lengthen to the fingers, lengthen to the back foot and inhale. Bring the hands to the mat and gently stretch over the right leg as you exhale. And take an extra breath here. Try to move the collarbones forward along the leg
And then soften a bit further through back of body and back of right leg as you breathe out. Bend your right knee, take a breath in. And picking up the foot, step it lightly back to downward facing dog. Stay and rest or move forward to plank. Smoothly lower down to knees or stomach and breathe out. Lift the chest and hands or feet or up dog, breathe in. And then press back into down dog and breathe out. Now second side, reach the left leg high as you breathe in. Bend your left knee and turn out to the side as you exhale. Try and keep the weight even in the hands at this point. Take another breath in, press through the right heel as you reach to the left knee. And either stay there or lightly pivot on the right toes. As the left foot comes down, the left arm goes forward. Take another breath here. Those in the arch press up through the front of the left hip. And then roll back over from wherever you are. Reach up through the left toes. And step the left foot silently forward into the lunge. Stand in your lunge. Stretch up to the fingers and inhale. Bending elbows, sink into the hips and stretch the triceps at the same time. Lift the collarbones, reach out through the fingers, maybe look up, breathe in. Bring the hands to the mat and fold over the left leg as you breathe out. Take another breath in here. Try to move the collarbones towards the toes. As you breathe out, see if you can relax a little further. Then bend the left knee and inhale. And picking up your foot, step it back to down face dog. Stay and rest or move forward into plank. Smoothly lower down and breathe out. Take your version of up dog, whatever that may be. And then press back into down dog and exhale. Take a breath or two here. Soften the neck, soften the face. Lengthen from hips to heels. On your next in-breath, raise the heels, look forwards. And bring the feet lightly to the hands and breathe out. Stand all the way up. Bring the backs of the hands together. Reach up high and inhale. And with the arms raised, sink into Utkatasana. Try and keep ankles and knees together. Take another smooth breath in. Reach the arms a bit higher if you can. And then fold the body forward and gently breathe out. Take a breath or two here. Try to lift the sit bones and let the crown of the head move down. Take one more breath here. Gently breathe out all the way. Then look forwards, arch the spine. And then step your left foot back into a long lunge. Stand in your lunge, reach high to the hands as you inhale. Holding your left wrist, take the hands to the right and breathe out. Take another breath in and see if you can press out a little more strongly into the left palm. And sink down through the hips as you breathe out. Then bring the body back up, lengthen to the fingers and inhale. Spin the back heel down and open to warrior two. Take a calm breath in here. Try to keep the body in one plane. And as you breathe out the next time, right arm goes over the head, either left hand lightly on the left leg or left hand binding to right thigh. Take one more breath here. See if you can sink a little bit deeper. Then come back up to warrior two, reach to the fingers and breathe in. And make your way into Parsvakonasana, right elbow to the knee, or right hand down, maybe inside the foot for today. Reach out through the left fingers and press to the left heel. Take one more breath here. And then take the hands to the mat, spin the back foot and inhale. And lower the left knee to the mat. Bring your body upright and bring left heel to buttock. Try to stretch the front of the left thigh. If that's too strong, you can just have the left foot on the mat and hands on the right knee. Take one more breath here. Calmly breathe out all the way. Try to let the body relax. Release the foot, raise the arms, and then the back knee. And now turn your upper body to the right, coming into Parivrita Pajvakonasana. You can take a deeper variation if you'd like. Make sure your focus is on twisting the spine, not the arm position. One more breath here. And after you breathe out, bring the hands to the mat and breathe in. Then roll onto left hand and left foot and take Vashisthasana, maybe taking the right leg up, but it might be enough just to bring right foot to left or intermediate right foot to left thigh. Take one more breath. And then smoothly release to down face dog. Stay and rest or move forward to plank. And smoothly lower down and breathe out. Take your version of up dog, breathing in. And then back into down dog and exhale. Everyone take a breath here. Relax the shoulders and press the armpits towards the feet, stretching the upper back. Then raise the heels, look forwards, and walk, step or float feet to the hands. Lift the collarbones, arch the spine and breathe in. And now step your right foot lightly back into a lunge. Stand in your lunge, reach up to the fingertips. Then holding right wrist, take the hands over to the left. Try to press out through the right hand and roll the right hip forward. And as you breathe out, sink a little bit deeper. Press down through the back toes. Then bring the body back up high. Reach to the fingers as you inhale. And turning the back heel down, come into Warrior Two. Try to keep the body upright over the hips. And reach the hands away from each other. Keep the shoulders down. And just take one more breath here. As you exhale, left arm goes over the head, either right hand to right leg or right hand to left thigh. Lengthen all the way to the left fingers. Maybe sink a bit deeper into the hips. On your next in-breath, come back to Warrior Two as you breathe in. And then smoothly exhale into Pajvakonasana. Either left elbow to the knee, keeping the shoulder back, or maybe left hand inside the foot. Try to lengthen all the way through the right side of the body. One more breath here. Reach through the fingertips. Then take the hands down, spin the back foot, and lower the right knee down. Bring right heel to buttock. Or just place the hands on the left knee. Whichever option you choose, try to bring the body away from the left thigh. Just one more breath here. Try to squeeze the right knee forward if you'd like. Then release the foot if you're holding it. Raise the arms and the back knee. And turn your upper body now to the left. Right elbow or shoulder outside left knee. It's plenty just to press into the palms. Trying to get the hands in line with the sternum.
Those who want to go further, do so in whatever form you did first side. Keep the hips level as you turn the shoulders. Last breath here. Now take the hands to the mat. Gently breathe in. And on right hand and right foot, take Vashisthasana. So maybe taking left leg high if that's really comfy, but it's enough just to place the left foot on the inner right thigh or even left foot to right foot. Take one more breath here. Try to lift the hips up. And release back into down face dog. Stay and rest or move forward to plank. And smoothly and calmly lower down. Lift chest, hands, maybe feet or up dog, breathing. And come back into down dog and breathe out. Everyone take a breath here. As you exhale, try to soften the shoulders, the upper back and the neck. And then gently lower the elbows simultaneously to the mat. Hold there for a breath or two, lifting up through the hips, so a forearm down dog. And now lower your knees to the mat. Sit back into child's pose for a few breaths. Maybe just creating a little space for the body to move forward between the knees. And just perhaps take the hands back for this first child's pose. Try to slow your breath down. From here on in, I want you to try and internalize your focus, your attention as much as possible. Whenever you can, keep your eyes closed and allow your awareness to remain within the body, ignoring the outside world, and instead pay attention to the inner, to the sensations of body, the rhythm of breath, and the movement of mind. Exhale one more time here. And then gently bring the body back up. Turn sideways along your mat, and we're going to take a wide-kneed child's pose. So we want the big toes together, the heels apart, and ideally the buttocks and heels remain connected the whole time. We want to take the knees as wide as we comfortably can. And for the first couple of breaths, just sit back onto the heels. And then once you feel that the hips are starting to settle into the posture, start to bring your body forward. So remember, we are trying to keep the sit bones, or let's say buttocks and heels, together. It's enough to just go part way forward if that's already intense in the hips. If you're not feeling any stretch in the hips, try taking your knees a little wider still. As you get more comfortable, start to bring the forehead to the mat. And as you become more comfortable still, start to bring the chest and eventually top of the stomach to the mat. And you can maybe rest your head on the hands. And here we get the opportunity, just for those who are very comfortable here, to stretch under the arms and through the shoulders as well. But unless your chest is on the mat, better to reach the arms out forward. If it's more comfortable just to have the forehead or chin to the hands or the mat, that's fine. If you'd prefer to turn the head to one side, do so. But every couple of breaths, swap and do the other side. I want you to try and find the places where your body is resisting the posture. And try to release any tension. Remember, your
Body naturally wants to relax when you exhale. The longer and slower you can make your out breaths, the more the body will respond to the posture. You've got a few more breaths here. Try not to come out of the posture, try to stay with it. You can back off the intensity a little if necessary. But remember, we are trying here to surrender into the postures. Just a last breath or two here. And after exhaling one more time, gently bring the body back up. You might like to sit on the heels again or between them with the hands on the knees for a couple of breaths. And then with your hands down, bring the knees together. Sit on the feet for a breath or two. Maybe give the hips a little rock from side to side. Then tuck your toes under, bring the body forward, sit on the feet. We're not holding this one, don't worry, it's just a little transition. And then roll over the feet. Now you can separate your feet here, but ideally keep the feet together if you can, and move into malasana, the squat position. So you're trying to bring the body forward between the knees. And if you need to, you can place something lightly underneath the heels, or you can reach the arms forward to help counterbalance the weight of the body. Try to curl the spine into a little ball here. We do need to engage Mula Bandha, pulling up through the pelvic floor, but the belly can remain soft. And if you're comfortable now, take your hands around the shins and hold your heels from behind. And if you know any deeper variations with the arms, you can move into those as well. If you're unsure, just stay holding the heels and try to bring the body further forward. Keep your breath calm and steady. Keep softening through the ankles, hips and shoulders. A last breath or two here. After breathing out one more time, gently release the arms. Sit back and just hug your knees into the body. Keep your feet on the mat, lift the collarbones up, bring the chin to the throat. Take one more calm breath here. Keep the eyes closed whenever possible. And after you exhale one more time, stretch the legs out in front. Before we go any further, lift your hips up. Try and tilt your sit bones back a little bit so the top of the hips are rolling forward. Then take your hands either side of the shins or the knees. Focus on lifting up through the crown of the head. So we're going to move slowly into Paschimottanasana. So folding forward over the legs.
But remember to keep the collarbones lifting. It should always feel in these forward bends like your collarbones are moving away from the navel. As you feel the back of the legs and the back of the body starting to soften, let the body move forward. Try to keep a sense of the chin moving down to the collarbones and the base of the skull moving away from the shoulder blades. Keep the belly soft. You can use the hands around the ankles or heels if you'd like, but make sure you do so really gently. So you should be able to release the hands without the body moving from its position. We're not using the arms to force the body forward. Perhaps, if anything, they're just helping us to maintain our position. As you feel the body going further, again, maybe rock side to side, free up the sit bones. If you're really comfortable here, you can hold one wrist with the opposite hand beyond the feet. Whenever you notice your mind drifting off, just bring it back to the sensations of the posture, particularly where there's the most resistance. And come back also to the rhythm of your breath, always trying to keep it long, slow and steady through the nose, both in and out. Just the last couple of breaths here. After exhaling one more time, sit back up. Reach up into the fingertips as you breathe in. Interlacing your fingers, press up through the palms as you breathe out. Take another breath in, reach up through the hands, pull the elbows back. And again, hold there as you breathe out. Take one more breath. Press right up through the palms. And then lower the hands gently down. Now, keeping the body upright, take your feet comfortably wide. Either keep the hands behind the back, or if you can keep your lower back straight, take them in front of the body to the floor or hands to the heart. We're moving into Samokhanasana here, side splits. So rather than bringing the body forward or folding the body forward, as we feel the legs relaxing, the inner hips relaxing, we take the feet a little bit wider. Try to keep the knees and the feet pointing up, so you're not just letting the legs roll back. And try to very gently press down through the inner knees. When you feel ready to go a bit further, try and slide the hips forwards a little bit. And that'll take the feet wider. Keep the eyes closed. Keep length in the spine. Remember that particularly in these slower postures, the mind will be very much inclined to move, to wander off to past or future. It's not a cause for frustration when that happens. It's an opportunity to become familiar with the patterns of the mind, the places where it likes to go and the places it doesn't like to go. Just as our physical practice allows us to get to know the patterns of the body. Once we become familiar with those patterns of body or mind, we just come back to the breath. Try to maintain a sense of ease. You should be able to keep your breath very quiet. Take one more breath here. And after breathing out, take your hands behind you if they're not already there. Lean back a little bit and just, without using your legs, slide the hips back so the stretch comes away from the inner hips. Then pick up your knees, bring your feet together. Start with the feet forward in Tarasana, so maybe 40 centimeters between hips and feet. And in that position, just give the knees a little bit of a butterfly. And then those who can, either take the feet to the hips coming into Baddha Konasana, or my preference to bring the hips to the heels. Again, try to have a sense of the sit bones pointing back and the top of the hips rolling forward. You can either have the soles of the feet together or open them up like a book, depending on what feels better for your knees. Close your eyes if you haven't already done so. And with each in-breath, I want you to lift the collarbones forward and up. Try and hold the breath for a second or two, and each time you breathe out, press the knees wide. So you're gently opening through the inner hips. As you inhale, feel the breath moving up into the top of the lungs. But not just in the front of the chest, although that's where most of the movement will be. Try to breathe into the top of the shoulder blades and the upper back as well. Keep the shoulders down, the face relaxed. Keep bringing the mind back to the breath, to the places of most resistance in the posture. Almost done here. After your next calm out breath, just raise the chin, take a breath in, stretching the throat. And bring the chin in, stretch the back of the neck and breathe out. Then keep your right leg as it is, and ideally bring your left leg into a kneeling position. Now, if you can't do that for any reason, you can stretch the left leg out. If you are kneeling, make sure you've got the foot tucked in next to the hip and you're on the top of the foot, not the side. We're going to take Bharadvajasana, a classical twist, turning to the right. Reach up through the hands. Turn your upper body to the right. And start by taking left hand onto right knee and right hand to the floor behind you. Try to bring the body as upright as you can. and either stay there, or if you want to go a little bit further, take the right arm around behind you and see if you can bind onto the left thigh with the right hand. Try to lean into the left sit bone. And as you look over the right shoulder, keep the right ear slightly raised. And for the last few breaths here, if you're really comfortable, bring the right leg up into a half lotus position and bring the right hand to bind onto the lotus foot. So right thumb between big and second toe of the right foot. Again, try to lean into the left sit bone. Turn further as you take your last breath here. Then turn the head to the left. Unravel the body. Reach the arms up high. And then lowering your hands down, release the right foot from its half lotus position and stretch the left leg out in front. Of course, if you weren't in half lotus, no need to release. Now with the left leg stretched out and the right leg into the left thigh, reach up to the hands. We're going to twist in the opposite direction, coming into Ardha Matsyendrasana 2. So start with right hand outside left knee, left hand behind you. And again, try to keep the body as upright as possible. Try to feel the sit bones are anchored down, so ideally weight even in both hips. And if you're comfortable, you can now bring the left hand to the inner right thigh and the right hand to the outer left heel. And if you're in that full position, remember that you're trying to sit back up, but the right hand is holding you in a partial forward bend, but it shouldn't feel like you're folding forward. It should feel like you're trying to bring the body upright. And if you're quite open in the shoulders, you can bring the left hand to the right shin. Turn a little further. Left ear raised as you look over the left shoulder. Keep softening. Move with a sense of ease, of letting go of tension. One more breath here. And after breathing out, turn your head to the right. Unravel the body. Stretch out the right leg, reach the arms up high. And then bring the hands down next to the hips. Roll the shoulders back, lift the collarbones up. And just gently press into the hands, taking Dandasana. We just want enough pressure here in the hands to make the hips feel light. One more breath. Release the pressure from your hands. Bring the left leg into crossed and bring the right leg into kneeling. Of course, you can keep the right leg stretched out if that was the option you took on the first side. So once you have the legs in position, again making sure you've got the right foot tucked in close by the side of the body. Reach the arms up high. And turn your upper body to the left. So right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. And again, try to keep the body fairly upright as you turn. Keep the left ear slightly raised. Each time you breathe out, see if you can move into the space left by the breath. And if you're really comfortable and did first side, You can now bring the left hand to the top of the right thigh. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed. Try to lean into the right sit bone. See if you can turn a little further. Each breath, even if it's just a millimetre. And those who did first side only if it feels okay, bring the left leg up into a half lotus position and bind left hand to left foot. Just a last breath or two here. Gently deepen your twist. And then unravel the head first. Release the left foot if it's in half lotus and stretch the right leg out in front. Now reach the arms up and take a twist to the right, Ardha Matsyendrasana 2. So again, just start with the left hand outside the right knee, the right hand to the floor behind you. Lift up through the crown of the head, but sink down through the sit bones. It's plenty to stay there. Just focusing on an upright twist. But if you did first side, perhaps bring right hand to left thigh. And maybe take left hand to outer right heel. Again, do your best to keep the spine straight as you twist. Perhaps every couple of breaths, just revolving a little bit further. And maybe, for the last couple of breaths, right hand to left shin. Last breath here. And after exhaling, release. Stretch out the left leg, reach the arms up high. And once more, bring the hands down by the hips. Either just press into the hands in Dandasana, rolling the shoulders back, or only if you're feeling enthusiastic, press down through the fists and pick up the hips. We're not going to try and pick up the feet, but just try to lift up through the crown and let the weight of the hips traction the spine. Remember, if you can't smile, you're doing too much. Take one more breath here. And then gently lower your body all the way down. And come to lying down on your mat, on your back. Roll over onto your left side and bring your head into the left hand. I want you to try and make sure your body's in a straight line here. So all the way from the left elbow to the left heel, more or less a straight line. Try not to let your hips poke out behind you. Try to balance on your side for a couple of breaths. It should feel a little bit precarious. So we're using the left foot to control the balance.
From here, bend the right knee. Take hold of your right big toe. And see if you can start to straighten the right leg up. So coming into Anantasana. For a simpler option, you might get a cramp like I just did. You can always release. For a simple option, you can bring the right foot to the inner left thigh. But ideally we are starting to straighten the right leg out. Try to keep the right sit bone pressing forward and up. Try and press out through the back of the right leg. Again, try to keep the body in a straight line. Just the last couple of breaths here. Start to bring the right foot a little closer to the body if you can. And after breathing out one more time, gently release the right leg down and then bring your right heel to your buttock. And I want you to just gently lie on your left side and try and find a stretch for the right thigh. You can stay here on your side if that's necessary or if that's the best option for you. But ideally, after another breath or two, I want you to start to roll towards your back. Bring the right foot down next to your hip. And then make your way into Ekapada Supta Virasana. So left leg stretched out, right leg in a kneeling position. Maybe take the arms over the head and hold opposite elbows. The right knee will want to splay out to the side. Try not to let that happen. As you feel the body relaxing, see if you can start to bring the back of the right hip a little closer to the mat. So initially we're on the left side, but then we're working towards lying with the hips flat to the mat. And you can start to bring the right knee forward towards the mat as well. But again, relax into the posture. Keep bringing the mind back to wherever there's the most resistance. Keep the breath calm and steady. Just the last couple of breaths here. Try to release somewhere between the right knee and the right ribs. And after your next calm out breath, just lean perhaps a little to the left, release the right leg, stretch it out, and just rest for a couple of breaths on your back once more. And then moving on to the second side, roll to your right side, bring your head once more into the right hand this time, and try and make a straight line all the way from the heels through to the right elbow. Again, the balance needs to feel a little bit precarious, otherwise your body's not in a straight line or you're not on the side of the body. Once you feel you've got the position right, start to reach down with the left hand, bend the left knee. And again, for a simple option, you can just perhaps bring left foot to inner right thigh. As you can see, the balance should be a little bit tricky. If you did first side, take hold of the left big toe and see if you can start to straighten the left leg out. Keep pressing the left sit bone forward and up, just very gently. Press out through the back of the left leg. So Anantasana, the cosmic cobra. Nice little lounging around posture. Just take a last breath or two here. And from there, gently release the leg down. Bring the left heel to the buttock, so holding with the left hand. And again here we're stretching the front of the left thigh. And staying on your side here is fine. But ideally we are working towards lying back. So again, try to keep the knees not wider than the hips. When you feel ready, start to bring the left foot down just next to the left hip. And start to bring the back of the left hip towards the mat. And again, hold your elbows past the head, ideally opposite elbow on top. As you feel the body relaxing, just start to again move gradually towards lying on your back. The two sides here will probably not feel the same. They don't in many postures, but in some of these stronger postures, the differences are more evident. So be attentive to the two sides. Get to know your body. Keep trying to soften a little bit further with every breath. Maintain your inner focus, eyes closed, breath steady. Just the last couple of breaths here. See if you can just soften a tiny bit further. And after your next calm exhalation, release the arms, release the left foot. And just stretch it out along the mat for a couple of breaths. Once you feel the body has come back to a relatively neutral position, bring the feet flat to the mat. Just rest there for a couple of breaths. Then take your left leg over your right and hook the feet into the Garudasana position. With your right foot on the mat, pick up the hips and shuffle them to the left, and then let your knees drop all the way down to the floor on the right side.
hold your knees down with the right hand. Take your head back to the mat and then reach diagonally back into the left fingers. There are three main elements to this posture. There's a stretch around the outer left hip and the left side of the lower back. There's a twist through the spine, and there's a stretch in the front of the left shoulder. You may feel all of those elements differently, some very strong, very subtle. Just be aware, particularly of those three elements. Find the one that's the strongest for you and see if you can relax into it. Where you look is up to you. You might prefer just to keep the head centered, looking straight up at the sky. You might prefer looking to the right, or you might prefer looking to the left. You can experiment with all of those different positions. As we near the end of our practice, your breath should now be very, very subtle. You should be aware perhaps of the little pauses between breaths. Especially after each exhalation. There's a moment of stillness in which the breath dissolves. If your mind is steady, focused on the breath, it too will dissolve into silence in that little gap. Just the last couple of breaths here. And after your next calm out breath, just gently release out of your twist. Unravel the legs. Bring the body back to the center of your mat and again just rest there with the feet flat and knees together. And then when you feel ready, take the right leg over the left. Hook the toes under the calf ideally. Then press down through your left foot, pick up your hips and shuffle them to the right. Then roll towards your left side, bring the knees all the way to the floor. Hold them down with your left hand. Then take your head back to the mat and reach diagonally up and back into the right hand. Again, be aware of those three primary elements of the posture. The stretching the outer right hip and right side of the lower back, the spinal twist and the stretch in the front of the right shoulder. Notice the differences between the two sides. Again, you might like to experiment with which way you turn the head. To look straight up, to look to the left, or to look up to the right hand. Keep a sense
of gently lengthening diagonally from right knee to right fingertips. Keep softening, letting go of resistance. Allow the posture to do the work for you. Just the last couple of breaths here. And after your next calm out breath, once more just release out of your twist. Bring the body back to the center. And with feet flat, let your knees drop together, let the hands just rest on the belly. And take your hands onto your knees and just let the knees hang forward so the back is flat. There's a sense of the weight of the legs gently pulling on the arms, helping to release any last bits of tension from the back of the shoulders and neck. And after your next out breath, reach out through fingers and toes, lengthen through the whole body. And then bring your arms down by your sides and come into a short Shavasana. So settle the body with minimal disturbance. It should be relatively calm and relaxed already. Make any little adjustments, and then with closed eyes, take your inner focus to Ajna Chakra, the eyebrow center. Take 3 conscious deep breaths at your own pace. Try to fill the lungs completely as you inhale, re-energizing. And then exhale completely, letting go and softening with each out breath. And then after those 3 conscious exhalations, just allow the breath to settle, to become completely relaxed. And just as your breath is relaxed, let the body be relaxed. Let the mind be relaxed. And see if you can come back to the space of observing, of awareness. Just rest quietly for the last few minutes. Nothing to do, nothing to change, nowhere to be. Just rest in the sense of presence, of here and now only, in the sense of awareness of what is, not what was or what may be. And come back to resting in the effortless space in which everything else arises. Clear, calm space of consciousness.
Sarvamangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sharike Sharanye Triambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om. Keeping the mind quiet, start to slowly lengthen and deepen your breath. And after a couple of deeper breaths, start to gently reconnect with the sense of outward movement, beginning gently with fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. And when you're ready, lengthen out through the whole body, awakening from toe tips to fingertips. Then bend your knees, roll onto your right side. And then sit back up. And see if you can come back to the sense of stillness behind the mind, beneath it, deeper, more subtle. Stay connected to that inner stillness as you go about the activities of your day. And then bring your palms together in front of the heart, and we'll all take one Om together to finish our practice. Gently breathing in. Om. As you breathe in, reach the arms past your head, lengthening up into the fingertips. And as you exhale, bring the hands to the crown, the brow, the throat, and the heart. And with awareness in the heart space, gently release the spine forward. And then slowly sit back up. Namaste. Thank you very much for sharing this practice with me. I hope it has left you deeply connected to the stillness within, that changeless part of yourself that is really your true nature. Thank you for sharing a pajama practice with me. Maybe if you're watching this a second or third time, you can treat it as a pajama practice for yourself as well. I'm sure there's one person in my household I'm going to get a lot of flack from for doing that, but anyway. Have a wonderful day or evening, folks. Thank you very much for sharing with me, and I'll see you soon.